Hi, everyone. Welcome. We're so happy to have you join our LinkedIn Live webinar today. Our topic is Finding Calm in the Chaos. My name's Rachel, and I'll be your host for the beginning before I hand things over to our moderator and panelist. If this is your first time joining us, I just wanted to share that Bay One, we are a global talent and technology solutions partner. We're headquartered in the San Francisco Bay Area, and we solve business problems, bridge talent gaps, and drive innovations for our customers. So today's panel discussion is going to focus all on proven strategies to manage stress in uncertain times. Right now, we are living in a time where uncertainty has become the new normal. So maybe you're thinking of global events, national events, economic instability, or personal transitions that you're going through. But stress has embedded itself in our daily lives. And while most conversations around stress focus on how to manage it in the moment, today we're going to dig deeper. We're going to explore how to build resilience, how leaders can create a culture of well-being, and how each of us can prepare our daily lives to hopefully thrive and not just survive amidst stress. So whether you're leading a team, navigating a personal career shift, or simply trying to stay centered, after today's discussion, we hope that you'll walk away with perspectives and habits that you can apply right away. So before we dig into it, I have the pleasure of introducing our incredible panelists, three remarkable leaders who bring wisdom from tech, operations, finance, and innovation in their careers. So let me start with a quick introduction of all of our panelists and our moderator. Um, First, I'll introduce Sunil Singh. Sunil is founder and CEO at Tallied, a venture-backed fintech startup. Sunil is a seasoned fintech entrepreneur and executive with over 2 decades of strategic and entrepreneurial leadership, driving product strategy, scaling revenue, and operationalizing business for rapid growth, scale, and profitability for organizations ranging from early stage startups to large public companies. Before Tallied, Sunil held leadership roles at several well-known fintechs, including Margenta, Blackhawk Networks, and LendUp, where he enabled these companies build multi-billion-dollar businesses in card insurance processing, lending, banking, and payments. Sunil is also a certified meditation instructor and a volunteer for the Art of Living Foundation. Next on our panel, I'm happy to introduce Dr. Ramanan. He is the Chief Technology Officer at Energy Recovery, where Ram leads product engineering and R&D to advance the company's core pressure exchanger technology and drive innovation with measurable commercial impact. With over 30 years experience in the clean tech, semiconductor and software industries, Ram has held executive roles across companies like Rondo Energy and Bloom Energy, where he played a key role in scaling the companies from startup to IPO. Ram brings deep technical expertise, holding over 50 patents, as well as business acumen, advising clean tech and AI startups uh, while continuing executive education at Berkeley Haas School of Business. Beyond his professional work, he is a lifelong volunteer and certified teacher at the Art of Living Foundation and TLEX, having taught over 3,000 hours of breathwork, yoga, and meditation programs, and led 200 plus workshops in corporate and community settings. His teaching is infused with humor and grounded in the lived experience of a global executive, engineer, and parent. Ram is passionate about bridging technology, well-being, and human potential to create meaningful impact in the world. He lives in San Jose with his wife and their 2 adult children who are settled on the East Coast. In his free time, he enjoys playing tennis and continues to refine his guitar skills through online workshops. Next on our panel, I'd like to introduce Pankaj Gupta. He is the CEO and CFO at Ariat International Inc., which is a global footwear and apparel company based in the San Francisco Bay Area. There, he directly manages FP&A, accounting, strategy and decision science, sales operations, IT, legal, and international business. Pankaj has about 30 years global COO and CFO career in manufacturing technology, sales and marketing, and service organizations, ranging from VC-backed startups to multinational corporations. His expertise spans a broad spectrum of functions with core emphasis on finance, accounting, supply chain management, sales operations, admin, and channel planning. He also directly managed other infrastructure areas, including information technology, human resources, legal, and administration. Pankaj has managed established businesses, have extensive experience in change management, transformational leadership, and has successfully implemented turnaround strategies for challenged businesses. Before joining Ariat, Pankaj has worked in leadership roles at global consumer product companies like Shiseido, Bare Essentials, and Unilever. Pankaj is passionate about raising awareness and support for philanthropic and research organizations such as the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society, Bennett Cancer Center, Art of Living Foundation, and more. He has been practicing as well as teaching yoga and meditation for many years. Pankaj is a certified public accountant. He has a bachelor's degree in accounting and a professional qualification as a chartered accountant and as a certified management accountant. Lastly, I want to introduce you our moderator for today's panel discussion, Rahul Sharma, who is the president and co-founder at Bay1. Rahul has 30 years of experience in the IT services industry. He's an engineering graduate from Birla Institute of Technology and MBA from Birla Institute of Management Technology. He's passionate about talent transformation and co-founded Bay1 to meet the needs of qualified talent in the fast-changing technology landscape. Bay1 helps large organizations compete in the digital age through intelligent automation of legacy processes and providing immediate access to specialized talent pools. Bay1 has been on the Inc. 5000 list of fastest growing private companies in America in the recent years. And Bay1 has also been recognized as one of the Bay Area's fastest growing private companies for the past 5 years. All right. Thank you, everyone. We're so happy to have you join. And now, without further ado, over to you, Rahul.
Hello. So, thank you, Rachel. Thanks for the introduction, and thanks for doing all the work to set this webinar. And Sunil, Pankaj, and Ram, thank you so much for joining. I know how busy it is, and especially in this uncertain environment right now, you know what's going on. But you took out time today. It really means a lot to us, so welcome. And our goal is to today, when we walk away from this webinar, we get some tips from you, because people feel leaders, they don't get stressed. Is that true?
I wish it was.
Okay, so first I was looking for some data points last evening and just try to see, looked at a survey from American Psychological Association, and they talked about how many percentage of US worker feel stress every day at work. What do you think? What would be that percentage? Ram, Sunil, and Pankaj, what's your guess?
Whatever the number is, it's a very high number that we can tell you.
Yeah. Okay. Pankaj?
62%.
I think it should be 100%. I don't know of a person who does not feel stressed.
So yeah, Ram, what's your guess?
62%. 62.5.
Very good, very precise. But it's 77%. Can you believe it? 77% people every day, they experience stress in their work environment and in their life. And you know how much we spend on our college education. All of you would have done that, and even our audience also. We spend so much money and just to build these skills. But what is the biggest skill? To run your businesses, run your life effectively. That's managing your stress. And we don't spend as much time and money into it. So I think it'll be a great discussion. I thought there cannot be any better topic to discuss today. And I'm really glad you guys are here. So let's get started with my first questions. How current situation manifests today, in your day-to-day life as a leader in your industry? And before I start, actually, let me just tell you one more thing. I got introduced to Sunil 13 years back in April of 2012. And he was conducting a workshop. I got introduced by a friend about the breath and meditation workshop he was conducting. And I took that course. And during that time, I realized I would start this company day one. So actually, Sunil, you are one of the person who were the first one, like during that 3 days course. That's what occurred when I'll start this company, which is we'll be celebrating our 13 years on July 3rd, and today is 13th. So it's a special day for us. So Sunil, before you start, why don't you just calm everybody down, because the topic is calm, how we can just calm technique.
First of all, congratulations on this amazing milestones. As many of us know, I mean, the survival rate of new businesses and startups is a very small percentage, and to not only survive and thrive for the last 13 or so years, it's remarkable, and it's kudos to your leadership and the team at Bay1. So amazing success there. In terms of calm, my go-to is the breath, and it's accessible. It's there anywhere, any moment. You don't need a whole lot of prep and planning. So why don't we do just a quick breathing, just with awareness, where we close our eyes, and then I'll just lead a couple minutes of what I call mindful breathing for all of us to get a reset from whatever meetings and other commitments that we had before we jump into it. So let's close our eyes just for a few seconds here quickly, and simply become aware of your breath. You don't have to do anything fancy. All you are doing is just switching your attention, all the chattering in the mind, to the breath. And just breathing in and then breathe out. Keep your attention on the breath. You're not doing anything specific other than just putting your attention on the breath as it is happening. And let us all take a deep breath in and breathe out. Another full deep breath in. And once more, breathing fully. And breathe out. And we can all open our eyes and come back to the session.
Wow.
That
Great,
was a
Sunil.
Thank you.
It was amazing, Sunil. It's just, I was feeling all my heartbeat going like this before going live. Now it's all calm. So I don't know how you guys felt, Pankaj and Ram.
Loved it. It's middle of the day. The weekend is here. Lots of thoughts going through the mind, and now I feel that my mind is a little bit more in where I am right now.
Okay, so audiences, if you just share your experience also with this practice. Sunil, we can get started with my first question. How current situation manifests day to day for you as a leader in your industry?
Yeah, so for background, I'm a founder and CEO of a startup, venture-backed, and in Silicon Valley. So it doesn't get any more intense than this for those of us who have been on different trajectories in sort of the professional business world. There are all kinds of pressure. I mean, you're constantly dealing with uncertainty and anxiety of how the market is going to play out, whether you are going to be able to raise your next round of funding or not, whether the product that you have promised your customers or the delivery is going to go on time or not, right? Or even the team that or somebody that you are looking to hire, they're going to accept your offer or not, because you don't have many of the cards or the leverage that a large company would have, right? So you're dealing with uncertainty, anxiety at its highest level in many ways. And to compound that, in the current sort of macroeconomic situation where tariff and global sort of geopolitical situation all have an impact on the outlook of the marketplace, and which drives customers' willingness to invest in buying our solution or product that we're selling, or investors' appetite to fund a startup. So for me, this is, I would call it a crucible in many ways, where you are every day you start saying, look, we are here as a startup to ride through the challenges we have on a daily basis as a team. And we are not looking 10 years ahead. Our role as leaders in a startup world is to have a very centered outlook on what problems we can solve on a daily basis to move the ball forward, while almost quietening the noise that is coming from outside. So that's kind of where we find ourselves in the value chain of businesses and technology companies in this current cycle. I'd love to hear from Ram and Pankaj.
Ram, so why don't you share your experience with this all thing going on right now?
Yeah, I think that there's a lot of changes happening in the world, right? There's wars, there's uncertainty, and many times we think that we are removed from those, but that's not the case, right? When there is so much uncertainty in the world, there is so much uncertainty in the business place, also in your own personal life as well, your health, your relationships, because what happens is also reflects on the inside. And one of the things that happened, and the company that I joined recently, Energy Recovery, is a small company. However, it's trying to make a transformation. It wants to move into higher revenues, get into new markets, kind of operate like a startup, like as Sunil was saying. So even though you may be in a public company or in a large company, time to time you go through transformations where you need to change things, right? And that creates stress, and that creates uncertainty in the workplace. And then you throw in all the macroeconomic things in there, then it's a big masala and drama that happens. So I think it is a norm. It is the new norm. So it's always a challenge.
Great. Thank you for sharing, Ram. And yes, I know even your startup or your established company, we all are facing the similar situation. Pankaj, please share. I know you have global offices, many people. I think you've been traveling all the time. So what is that? What are you facing?
Well, I think, no, thank you, Rahul, and great to hear from all of you. The thing that I would add is that I think, one, I agree, size doesn't matter, but it shows up in some different ways how stress is there. Now, stress or uncertainty is there every day. Like, even the stress of getting ready and reaching office, if there is traffic or whatever, there is stress all around us. But I think what we are talking about is really kind of the big events, especially look at last 5 years. There has just been one uncertainty after the other through COVID. And I'm from a physical products company. We make clothing and boots and shoes. So for us, for a lot of people in our team, working from home was not an option. You can't, if you're at a warehouse or a retail store, you can't work from home. So that it created a different kind of stress and a different kind of uncertainty as to how do you manage your team and your organization at that time. And I had hundreds of people on my team who were in physical stores or had to handle product. And what it does is the way it shows up for us in a consumer products industry is we are significantly impacted by sentiment and what's happening around the world, the things that Rahul, you were pointing out. So it makes it very hard to predict what do we do, what investments to make, how do we ameliorate this situation. And one of the things that at Ariat especially we pride ourselves into is we really think about our stakeholders up and down the stream. So if we decide we're going to, market is not good, I'm going to cancel 1 million units order for footwear, how does it affect our factory and the people who work there and their families? So we really, the stress and the uncertainty is not just me personally or the 500 people on my team. It could run into thousands of people who depend upon our businesses and the choices that we make, and we can't be cavalier about that.
Thank you, Pankaj. Thanks for sharing that. And as I said, yes, everyone. Even that's a good example. Even if you're not running a company and you're not leader, running your day, your life, it's everywhere we are facing that stress. So Ram, next question is for you. What does resilience mean to you?
Yeah, that's a good question, right? I mean, I think to me, resilience or emotional resilience is the ability to make wise decisions, to keeping that calm in the chaos, right? Can you still be centered, not be swayed by your emotions or what's happening with external pressures, but still keep your cool and calm and make the right decision again and again and again and again. So that is the resilience to me.
Okay, great. Thanks for sharing. Pankaj, you want to chime in on something on this a bit?
Yeah, I think, resilience, to me, it's also like, how does it show up when things are not going great, right? How do, we all have our value systems. There are things that we believe that we show up every day. And the resilience is, can that continue when things are not great, when things are not in your control, when things abruptly change, everything was going fine and then suddenly something happened. So I think, to me, resilience is to be able to still maintain whatever that value system you have in whatever may be the circumstances around you.
Great. Thank you. So I think next question, Sunil, definitely you want to chime in something.
For me personally, the resilience is on the toughest day or the moments, whatever that is, individually or collectively as a company or a team, showing up with the best version of yourself, and being able to make the most optimal objective decisions that Ram was talking about in those moments, that's really what it boils down to.
Yeah, I know on this topic we can talk for 30 minutes actually with this particular question. So I think I would move to the next one, which is a little bit difficult for especially leader. We have goals. We have our investors, stakeholders, stock market. We have to just deliver results all the time, meet business objectives. But that's a high pressure environment, especially in this situation. So how do you help your team manage their own stress without sacrificing performance or accountability?
Yeah, I can go first on this one. So first of all, we can not help anybody manage their own stress. They have to own it. It's an individual sort of ownership of what's happening with their life. And what we can do as leaders is, if they're a team member or somebody in the team is struggling, and you can see those patterns, right? You have one-on-ones, you have conversations. And if we are self-aware and the mastery we have, then you can see that very quickly, that something is off with whoever, this person in the meeting, and this person is not that reactive, but they are reacting to this. It's a small issue. What's going on? So to be able to quickly observe and aware, and then have a conversation saying, hey, what's going on? Having that conversation with empathy. Oh, maybe your daughter is sick and you needed to go to the hospital and you are behind on your work. So number one is to be aware of your own mind. So you are not getting caught up in that. Like, oh, this was supposed to be done yesterday, didn't get done. What happened? And then it becomes a vicious cycle. So first of all, observing what's going on and having the trust in the team, having a conversation with empathy, and then giving them the tools, saying, look, you need to cool off for a couple hours, do this, go do this. Whatever you need to do to arrange and rearrange your settings so that you can be productive, that's one. And at the same time, I think as leaders, as you talked about, having focus on the outcome and the objective. We are all in it. I call business as a professional sport, where you have a collective team and they have to achieve certain outcomes, certain goals. So having empathy, having sort of the energy around everybody to say that we are in it together and we want to move forward. And if somebody needs help and tooling, provide that. But again, keeping them focused on the main outcome or the objective, as a professional team would do, right? So that's how I approach it.
Okay, I'm seeing some really great questions coming in the chat, but we will talk about them later. Ram, I would like to hear from you. What's your opinion on that?
It's kind of interesting, right? I think the stress management or managing your mental health has always been left to the individuals by companies. I mean, they believe in picking the right technical people, providing the technical skills. But when it comes to managing the stress, I think a lot of the companies are recognizing it's an important aspect that they need to pay attention to. I see many companies turning in, giving them apps, to manage their stress, have yoga sessions at work, meditation, and so on and so forth. But still, I don't think there is a clear recognition on the part of a lot of the people that if they manage their mind better, they can actually be a lot more productive. I think that recognition is slowly coming, but I think that the more and more the companies can support that and share that, I think the more that's going to help the people. But as Sunil was saying, I think it's also important for the leaders to be centered as well, because your team is looking to you. If you can stay calm, your team will also be able to say, okay, Ram has my back, so I can work in a much more productive fashion. So I think the leaders set the example in terms of how people manage stress.
Very good, Ram. Thanks for sharing that. And good part you brought, the employers can do a lot of things. And one data point I was reading, like 81% or 85% of the employers now have their some kind of mental health awareness program in their organization, which is great. Like nobody was used to talk about it, but now look at that, where we came. So it is a real thing, and we are handling it so optimistic. I'm very optimistic about that, how it's going to be. So Pankaj, what's your view?
Yeah, so I 100% agree with everything that Sunil and Ram said, so I won't repeat those. But what I would add is I think that I believe that this helping your teams and managing stress and still staying on track, that process starts way before the stress actually show up. So it's not something that you turn on one day. You have to really start from it from day one. As you build the teams, as you're leading the teams, it has to happen much earlier in the cycle. I think it starts from making sure that everybody understands what our vision is, what is our North Star, what are we trying to achieve. And I think Ram, you said having their back, or Sunil, you said make the team, as long as the team trusts in you, that even when you're going through a difficult time, the leader has their back. They will support them. It gives them that ability or the freedom to fail. Because quite often the worry that people, the stress gets created because people feel that they are not going to be successful, and that's going to reflect on them or on their performance. And a lot of companies and businesses and leaders talk about, we allow people to fail, but ultimately the proof of the pudding is, how do you show up when somebody fails? If somebody starts a project or makes an error in something, how does it impact their career or their standing in the organization? So truly giving them the freedom to fail. And I think as leaders, we have to be transparent. So you talked about being aware, and what I say, we have to be vulnerable. Just for us to be aware that when somebody on our team has somebody in the family has a medical issue that they need to take care of, we need to be able to do that ourselves. We set the standard, and if we can be vulnerable and share things that are not perfect for us, it gives the freedom to our team members to also be vulnerable. And then that allows you to basically catch things before they reach a breaking point for them, or for a project, or for an initiative that you're supposed to do. Because otherwise people will just keep hiding it, and they never expose it because they don't feel that freedom. So I think there are actions that leaders can take early and regularly to build that within their organization, within their teams.
Great. Thank you so much for sharing that, Pankaj. Great question. So I think there are so many questions I'm seeing online, so we can start answering that. But I think my next question, so I'm going to cut down a few of my last questions and go on the audience questions. But the first one is very important, which is, how do you the state of your mind define your day, and how do you run your day? That defines your life, right? That's how it goes. So just tell us, what is the habits which you inculcate in your daily life, which kind of helps you, and the life hack you have, share with the audience here. Maybe Pankaj, you can start with that first, and maybe you can just show us some technique if we have a few minutes. How we
Sure, I can do that. So I think from my side, I completely agree with you, Rahul. I think those of us who had sales responsibilities, we always say, you have to make the day, which makes the week, which makes the month, which makes the quarter, which makes the year. You can't do it, okay, I'm going to do everything in December. That life doesn't work that way. I think your own resilience and your own behaviors and habits follow the same pattern. So the idea of doing something on a regular basis, daily basis, I think is very fundamental to anything in life, actually achieving anything in life, and definitely in terms of managing our mind, managing our stress. So for me, my day usually starts with some kind of breath work. I personally feel, and I've heard this from some other, leading people as well, is that, I think there is a lot of awareness around yoga started 20, 30 years ago, meditation in the last 10, 15 years. I think breath work is the next frontier that people will learn and understand how crucial, and I know of many senior leaders, political figures who actually do similar practices also. My day starts with some breathing. I'll show a very small technique that I use, which can be used anytime during the day. I do some light yoga. I think yoga is, we all, as we are getting older in life, better physical health is important, but yoga goes a lot beyond that. And, it brings obviously stability in the mind and the body. And, I try to stay positive. When I'm a CFO, my job description usually says that I should look for the worst everywhere and prepare for it. But people who know me will tell you that I'm kind of a glass half full kind of a person. And the last thing I would say is that I try to be in the present. Like whatever I'm doing, I try to give my full attention. Well, all of us, especially in this day and age, I have distractions. We have, multitasking is kind of an expectation. But what I find is that when you are able to do something fully, it leads to a much better outcome than trying to do three things at the same time. So that's kind of a few things that I do, by start of the day and during the day and in my own personal behavior. One of the breathing techniques, which I'll take 60 seconds to just demonstrate to people. Some of you might have heard of it. It's called alternate nostril breathing, and it's as the name suggests, you breathe from alternate nostrils. So yeah, I'll just show do a quick demo. So all you need to do is use your right hand, take your index finger and the middle finger, and you place it in the middle of your eyebrows. And then you use your ring finger and your thumb to alternately open and close your two nostrils. Okay? You can do it with the glasses on or off. And your left hand, just keep it in your lap, just with the palm facing upwards, just, so it's there. So what you do is you first start by breathing in with both nostrils open. Close your right nostril with your thumb and breathe out from your left nostril. Breathe in from your left nostril. Close, open the right, and exhale from your right. And I keep doing this. In from the right, out from the left. And if you got it, then you can close your eyes. In, out. And keep doing it at your own pace. Make your breath as long and deep as you can, and as slowly as you can. Next time, when you breathe out of your left nostril, you can relax your hands, relax your breath, and gently open your eyes. So you might notice that, and what this breathing does is it brings balance between you. Everybody knows about the left brain and the right brain. Some of us have one more prominent than the other. And what this breathing technique does is it brings the balance between your right and the left brains. So feels a little calm. You can do it anytime. It takes 1 to 2 minutes, 3 minutes, and you can do it at any time of the day when you feel your mind is scattered, you're not able to focus, brings you to the present moment.
Thank you for sharing. I hope audience liked that. I really enjoyed it. So Ram, next to you, what you do, what are your life hacks?
So I think I start with what Pankaj said. I think definitely breathing is the foundation, because as our breath slows the mind down, it calms down, right? I think that's one of the fundamentals that's really needed. The other thing that I do is also meditation. I think everybody has heard about meditation, mindfulness, and there are some apps out there. We'll also give you a really good app that I would strongly recommend at the end of this program. Stay tuned. Don't go anywhere. So meditation to me is the art of doing nothing. There's a lot of concepts out there about people, oh, I need to focus on this white light, bright light, and so on. If you want to learn meditation, my suggestion is come learn it from the best people, because meditation is not just giving you relaxation, it is going much deeper than that. It goes deeper into your consciousness, removes a lot of the impressions. If you really think about it, a lot of the things that's really holding us back in our life is these strange fears and deep impressions that we have over our lifetimes. The beauty of meditation is that without you having to do anything, it effortlessly goes and removes a lot of these hidden fears and impressions. So learn it from the best, and when you start meditating regularly, you would notice that suddenly you're just becoming better and better at doing everything, and things become easier and easier for you.
How about you, Sunil?
You're on mute, Sunil.
Yeah, for some reason. All those, the breath work, meditation, I would add to it is that sort of just being aware of your own state of mind throughout the day and constantly checking in whenever you get an opportunity, whenever the mind is scattered and whatever is going on. You can call it having perspective in the Western sort of having that. And when you are going through that, it's very easy to get into the whirlwind of activity or responding to an email or getting onto a call. Sometimes just stepping away, just go around the block if you're working from home or come down the elevator and just go for a quick walk and allow your mind to just have a distance from whatever situation you are dealing with. As leaders, especially, we get into the heat of the moment. We are in meetings from morning till evening and back to back. Just adding those few minutes of what I call perspective time, where you are bringing the distance. That's on a micro level. You can do it on a daily basis. On a much more organized manner, what I do is I go for silence retreat every 6 months, at least twice a year, where completely cutting off from everything for 3-4 days, where you meditate and be in silence in nature. I find that really healing and rejuvenating. And some of the best decisions after what I have come out of silence course, whether a new product line that we want to launch or thinking about new go-to-market motion that we want to, or even thinking about the team, how we can organize, have come up after these retreats for me, where I've been able to distance myself from the day-to-day grind. And that gives a clean slate for me to sort of rebuild and re-energize and really refocus ourselves.
So, Pankaj, there is a great question from the audience. If you could answer that. What things go wrong back to back? When things go wrong back to back, how do you stop the spiral and bounce back?
That is a great question. And I'm sure all of us have had experience with that. It's not like they say, all good things come in threes and all bad things come in dozens. So they just all, things, there's no one thing that goes wrong. It's a bit of a spiral, right? You're late for the airport, then every time light will be green, and there'll be a long line at security, etc. So what I believe is that we all go through these things and we try to use willpower to power through it. The default is I'm strong, I'm smart, I'm I'm a leader, I can do it. And it doesn't work that way. Controlling our mind from using our mind does not work as a technique. Like anything else, like if you have a back pain, you go to a physical therapist, they'll tell you a technique, they'll tell you a process by which you can improve your back pain. Same thing for situations like this. I think when you have this spiraling situation, you need to have a technique. Like the alternate nostril breathing that I was telling, it's kind of one of those techniques, but you need to learn certain techniques to be able to kind of break that cycle. And that's why I was mentioning this earlier, doing some of these programs and learning these techniques so you can build your own methodology on how you're using it. And when you are in that spiral, you can remember, okay, no, I need to go back and try that technique and break that cycle. That's kind of my go-to approach to it.
Very good. Very good answer. Thanks for sharing that, Pankaj. So I'll go with the next question. And how about, okay.
Yeah, I think the question is, I see on the screen that how can team members deal
yes,
managers that are high strung? And I hear about this challenge in the industry constantly. And rather than the manager or supervisor being a conductor of calmness, they're a conduit of stress. Very well put together. Who has not had a manager who does not fit this description? We all have, right? If you have any experience working in the professional world, you would have come across. And it again goes back to sort of two things, is that before we jump into how to expect our managers to operate in a certain way and what they can do for your stress, you take control, right? By being centered, being balanced, being aware, not reacting. As I talked about, having that perspective, that an empathy comes into it, that the manager is dealing with their own level of stress, right? So the first step is, I would say, you become the source of calmness and not look for elsewhere, right? And whatever you can do to incorporate so that you don't react in those situations. And you will notice the moment you start taking control of your own emotions, your own state of mind in those moments, then you can have an actually productive conversation with your manager saying, look, I know that you want me to do 12 things. I can only do this in this time frame. These are the challenges. You can drive that conversation as opposed to being driven by that stress, which spirals and nothing productive comes out of that. And as leaders, we have to model it on a daily basis, where we all have bosses. I mean, those of us are leaders, we are board members, and they are coming into meeting with all kinds of other dynamics that they're dealing with. So to expect that you will not have a manager who is not going to get stressed and channel it is unreal. I think the solution is what you can do as an individual to take control of your own mind, your own emotions, so that you can take charge of the situations.
I would also add that take your manager to the one of the stress management programs. That you can do for them.
That would be amazing.
Okay, so I think this is the last question. I believe we are at almost the time, 12:43. So I think it's a 45 minutes webinar. So this is the last question. If we can take that, who would love to take this one? Okay,
I can, as I promised, right? There is this one app that I would strongly recommend for anyone and everyone with regards to doing the meditation very effortlessly. It's called the Sattva app. I think, we can type this in, SATTVA. Sattva means is that calm, good energy or good vibe, if you can call it. So it is a free app. It is the one that's provided by Art of Living Foundation, or kind of the experts in meditation. They got a lot of guided meditations and tools that's to encourage you to build that daily habit. It's a really good one. And for those of you who's really interested in a lot of the science behind the breath that Pankaj was talking about, there's a book by James Nestor called Breath. It's really amazing. It just takes you into how breath has a huge impact on our nervous system. Those are two really good things that you can go check out today.
Great.
And the last piece, if I may, I think many have sort of referenced the Art of Living program and the meditation and breath work. I think, Rachel, if you can present, those of us who are really willing to commit a weekend to deepen our learning and understanding of these practices, but also make it part of your daily routine. Welcome everybody to this program that is happening in July 4th weekend in San Jose Convention Center. You have the details of where you can register and find out. In this program, this weekend, you will not only learn the breath workshop, but also integrate it with the meditation that Ram talked about. And I would say that this is a power-packed weekend program that could transform your mental state, your resilience, your ability to lead and manage, and really enhance overall sort of quality of your professional, personal, and community life as a whole. So I would highly recommend check this out at this URL that is presented here. Rachel can put it in the link as well after the webinar is done so that you can access it. But this is not to be missed in many ways, mainly because the founder of the Art of Living Foundation will be conducting some of the sessions at this event as well. And this is a rare opportunity to do it with him when he's traveling to the Bay Area after many years.
Yeah. So one thing one thing I'll add is that in these programs, I was mentioning earlier, you need to have some techniques to handle the spiral or when things are tough. For me, the most important thing was there are 3 or 4 very specific techniques that you learn in these programs. Then when you apply them, it's like having a personal trainer, and then you take away those techniques and you can do that at home by yourself or at work. And then, that's the tangible piece that was super valuable to me.
Okay, great. So I think I really, really appreciate all of you for coming and just sharing so much insights. And I'm sure audience would got something out of it. And the course you talked about, which is coming in on July 4th to July 6th. And I also took it in 2012. And that's how the Bay One started. So I would recommend everybody just go and check it out. Rachel, so it's a wrap. Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you, everyone.
Rachel, you're mute.
Thanks, everyone.
Yes, thank you to our incredible panelists for the depth and honesty and wisdom that you shared today. So if there's one thing that we hope you all take away, it's about the resilience, about being unshakable, having those tools and habits and that mindset to return to center again and again, no matter what's around you. So thank you, everyone, for spending this time with us. I hope you be well and stay grounded, and we hope to see you next time. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.